Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Our brand new Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays is now.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, big night, WWE SmackDown, AEW Rampage, but now it's time for the main event of the night, Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Johnny, we have been busy trying to put together our 20th anniversary celebration Saturday night, November the 13th, from the historic Memorial Hall, right down the street in Melrose, Massachusetts, when Boston Wrestling MWF goes back to the 90s. 8 featured VIP superstars: Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Bob Backlund, 2 Hall of Famers, Marty, Jannetty, the Doctor of Style, Slick, the Berzerker, Doink the Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese, Aldo Montoya. We have JTG that's going to be in the house, Vice President Oscar, who was former WWF Tag Team Championship Manager with Men on a Mission. You're going to be there with Fabo, Pop, and Hot Sauce, and
I'm going to bring some cigars.
oh, you and the cigars, my God. What is it? What novelty don't you have?
We can talk about that later.
All right, we'll talk about that later. All right, Johnny, a lot going on in the world of professional wrestling right now. Our friends in Stamford, Connecticut, who I think we both own a little bit of stock in, it's not looking good. You know, having both the NFL, Monday Night Football, and the Major League Baseball playoffs running against them at the same time, it's a hurting unit right now. It's a hurting unit.
Well, you can tell because they're adding, what, 20 minutes to their Friday show, or 30 minutes? They're going off the air at 10:30 to compete with AEW. I mean,
commercial free, I believe.
Yeah, well, guess what?
Well, that was just a little while ago at this point.
But what's that tell you?
Well,
we're reaching the bottom. We're trying.
Well, you know, can you look at it like this? Maybe it's not all AEW. Maybe they're just trying to come up with a gimmick to hook people to tune in, because it's going to be on a different channel this week due to the playoffs. It's going to be on FS1. So maybe they're trying to come up with a catch to get people to go out of their way to find it on a new channel for one night.
I just think what's got to happen, truly, you've got 2, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, 2 premier wrestling shows. It's good for competition. You see, that was never there before. It was one furniture store monopolizing the whole area. Now you've got competition, good competition. So you know what? And fans want that. They want to be able to choose to pick. I don't think the need to go till 10:30. Why not stay with the original time frame? You know, the major problem here is present quality professional wrestling, something that the fans want to get into. Look, I'm a fan of WWE, always have been, always will be. But the thing that I'm seeing is, what is there to hold my interest? That's the key right now. And with this shake-up with the draft.
Well, we're going to be talking about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that, I'm sure. But, you know,
wouldn't it have been maybe a more interesting idea, again, to play fantasy booking, so to speak? Maybe announce the first half hour of the show is going to be commercial free. Get them on, hook them with something good, and then what about this? Instead of the show just ending at 10, maybe it doesn't end at 10. Maybe like a Major League sports game, it just keeps going and going until the show ends. If they book it to end at 10:25 or 10:30, so be it. But why advertise it ahead of time? Surprise people.
Well, you remember the old days where they used to run over.
Yeah.
And that was good. The main event would run over. We can't leave you now, folks, because it's a hell of a match. It's a slobber knocker. Well, that's all gone.
And then they killed it when they started promoting that it ended at 11:07.
That's right. It's all over. It's just, the whole thing has got to be rewritten. More and more I sit here, more and more I say to myself, are we really in the business of professional wrestling, or are we in the business of going ka-ching? You know, I look at the product, and I'm sure we're going to discuss this thing in Saudi Arabia. Goldberg's going back in Saudi Arabia. But I just think that they're missing the boat here. It's not about the length of the program, and I have to concur and agree with you, even though some fans may not like that. You're right. If you're going to bait the hook, you might as well bait it at the beginning so the fish will bite. And why not give me that half hour free? Now I'm hooked. I'm in. I'm not going to switch unless you give me your best up front and then you start to give me less as the program progresses. And that's usually what happens.
Oh,
you can't do that.
absolutely, yeah.
You have to disperse it equally. You've got to make me want to stay. And you know what? Why are people channel surfing? Because you haven't provided the right bait, the right hook. And 1 hour commercial free, half hour commercial free, what are you going to present for your final match that's going to keep me there? Unless Roman Reigns is going to lose that title in that half hour, I'm not sticking around. So
I don't think
that-
we're going to be seeing that happen.
No,
So you're not going to be sticking around.
No, I'm not sticking around. I made my point.
You made your point. All right, point well taken. I think, again, not the worst of ideas. I just think maybe they're doing it a little backwards.
I agree
say
with you.
start off that way, 8 o'clock, commercial free, set up some kind of a hot angle for a main event, start the main event at 9:55. And then the fans will be like, oh, this is only going to go a couple of minutes. And then surprise them. Don't end it at 10. Just keep going and going and going until whatever it is you're trying to accomplish climax.
And that's what they used to do. They'd open that show up, the two guys or two women, whatever it was, would go head to head. They'd start that battle, somebody interrupt, not now, not here. All of a sudden, the big announcement would come. We've talked to the board of directors and Vince McMahon. There will be a championship match, blah, 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 and people hung in. They hung in. Even if you tuned out, you tuned back in. So I think they're missing the boat. They're not presenting good professional wrestling, even though the men and women in that organization are busting their ass. Some of the storylines are just stupid. And people are sitting back and they're saying, you know what? Before, I couldn't go to the bakery and order different cream puffs. I have a choice now. That's what's wrong. And if you want to compete, you've got to amp up. Not let your top stars go. You've got to amp up. And you've got to provide, as you keep saying, that bait. That bait in front is so important. But you got to do it with people who people want to watch.
Well, I have to say, Johnny, I can't believe that now after 35 plus years, I have such little interest in what WWE is putting on television. I'm much more interested in the business happenings, I guess, so to speak. You know, some of the talent maneuvering, so to speak. As far as the actual television shows go, I mean, even SmackDown, which I was really enjoying.
It's kind of going down.
Outside of Roman, there really isn't much. Yep. NXT, the new look, a lot of guys that don't appear to be as ready for TV as they had before at certain points. Raw is just, it's really tough to sit through a lot of the times. The pay-per-views, to be fair, a lot of the times they can be hit, but a lot of the times they can be missed too. I mean, there's just, you know me, I'm a big baseball guy, and I have to say, it'll be a little after the fact when this airs on Friday, but over the course of a week, I saw 3 out of the 4 best baseball games I've ever seen in person.
Wow.
The wild card game with the Yankees, then back-to-back nights walk-off wins against the Tampa Bay Rays
Nice.
to advance to the championship series. Bottom of the 14th home run.
Wow,
Off the bat
nice.
of Christian Vasquez. I mean, that's something I'll remember forever, as opposed to if I'm at home flipping the channel and putting on another Raw with another written, scripted promo or another match that we've already seen about 18 times. It's just...
Even Roman Reigns, who you know my attitude on him when he came in, I've completely done a 90-degree on Roman. I'm 150% behind what they've done and what he's doing. He's doing a fabulous job. But you know what? How long is that going to last? People are getting tired. People are getting tired of the same stuff all the time. Oh, let's see. Who's going up against them today? Oh, Brock Lesnar? Well, we know he's going to lose. Lesnar's got a job for him. It's like, what's the point? You know what? This element of surprise is gone. The element of telling the story is gone. He is not the strongest individual in the organization. You're bringing back the beast incarnate, the guy that 15 suplexes to my son. Treated him like he was a rag doll. Look at who else he took out. I mean, and you're going to have him, please.
Well, we're going to get there. We're going to get there, Johnny, as we continue with the show. But We had, as we noted, before we go to break, the WWE Draft take place.
Yep.
I think it was very boring and uneventful. They've never explained the rules as to how or why these shows can just randomly pick stars from here or there. I don't know if I discussed this with you, but we did mention it on our Wrestling Insider Stern but via podcast on Sundays. How I'd like to see it done is, as far as the draft goes, I think maybe to try and freshen things up, maybe a week or two after WrestleMania, I would have Raw and SmackDown each get maybe 2 or 3 picks each from NXT. Let them bring up the rookie, bring up the youngins, and see if they can compete with the big dogs. Then what I would do is to freshen things up for the new fall season in the NFL. And again, this would take a lot of pacing and patience and preparation. But instead of this nonsense draft where they just randomly pick people and read people's names off, why not look at how, again, professional sports does things, where there is no off-season in WWE, in storyline form, have it written that the contracts expire each year on August 31st. And you create a period of free agency when the superstars could sign with Raw, they could sign with SmackDown, they could sign with NXT, maybe keep the free agency period open for a whole month. So then instead of just 2 shows where you have 2 boring authority personalities reading off, well, Raw is drafted Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley, and SmackDown is drafted Sami Zayn. At least you have someone could be coming and going on any of those 3 shows for an entire month while they decide which brand they want to sign a contract with. I think that might be interesting as opposed to 2 nights of basically nothing.
Or
the draft I have zero interest in because I don't think anyone that constructs it has ever watched how a major league sports organization has run a draft.
Well, they've changed the way the draft used to be, first of all.
It's changed several times.
Yes. But the thing, if you recall, there is one person that is a free agent.
Yeah, right.
Brock Lesnar.
Right.
He can go wherever he wants. I think the open contract, I can go to Raw or I can go to SmackDown, makes things more interesting. Forget the draft. Forget expiration. Open contract. You got an open contract. When's Marty going to sneak up and belt Reigns from behind and take his belt? You don't know. When are we going to have a SmackDown invasion of Raw or a Raw invasion of SmackDown?
But
those days were interesting.
That's the problem. Nobody cares because the draft, and it was going to be my segue after we talked about the draft into Survivor Series, which is going to be coming up. But I mean, do you think the draft is executed well or of any interest at this point?
No, look, when I looked at
the wrestlers have no loyalty to any of these brands. They're there for such short periods of time. Some of them go brand to brand almost every year.
Absolutely. But what's happened is, if you notice the way they handle the draft, they've set up the matches on the other side. That's basically it. I go from here to here because I'm now going to be fighting you. You're going from here to here because I'm going to be doing this. Isn't it funny that the Usos and his wife, they all got to the same, come on. You sit back and you go, please, give me the bucket. It's just, and that's what I mean. There's no interest. It almost is like, and I don't mean to demean or disrespect, but it's all about the ka-ching. You know, and I feel in my heart, and I hope I'm wrong, they're out to put NXT out of business.
You think they want to put NXT out of business?
I think NXT is going to go down the drain. I really do. I just have that feeling. You know, they changed.
Even with the money they're getting from USA Network?
Oh, please. Yeah, but you know what? I don't care what USA is paying. The show's got to produce, and people got to watch it. And trust me.
It still does a pretty respectable cable number each week.
Trust me. Hang in there. I just got that feeling. I just got that feeling that with what's happening now, it just doesn't seem viable. Will they still have a university? Will they still be the top wrestling school in the world? Probably yes. Will there be an NXT? There was never meant to be an NXT to start with.
Well, interesting enough, folks. Right now, I think we're going to take a brief timeout. We'll be back with more Wrestling Insiders on the flip side. Don't forget, head on over to BostonWrestling.com right now. Tickets on sale for Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th anniversary celebration when we go back to the 90s, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose. BostonWrestling.com. Get those tickets now.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
At WrestleMania 37, she defeated Asuka to become the new Raw Women's Champion, and here is your chance to own a piece of Rhea Ripley on this beautiful limited edition autographed 11x14 poster direct from friends at WWE. Number 50 of only 50 made, includes WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself. Suitable for framing and matting, you'll also receive a bonus Legends autographed 8x10 photo and an on-air thank you on Wrestling Insiders as our thanks for helping keep Wrestling Legends working. Get this ultra-rare Rhea Ripley autograph poster now. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889.
All right, Johnny, welcome back. I know you've got a lot of folks that have been hitting you up looking for those VIPs, but we're running low. We're running low.
Buy them now, get them quick, because I don't want to hear from anybody else. Gee, I'm disappointed. I tried to get in, I couldn't get one. Now's the time. It's like a hot dog on the grill. It's hot, they're ready to go. Get them. Don't miss out. The benefits of that VIP open a lot of doors. I tell you, if I show up, we'll see. If I don't get what I want, we'll see. But guess what? I'd be buying a ticket right now.
And do you know what goes good with the hot dog on the grill?
What's that?
A little Fabo Pop.
Yeah,
Ice
Fabo
cold
Pop,
Fabo
little hot
Pop.
sauce. Oh, wow. Oh, let's do it.
Well, I know Quincy Rastani's a big hot dog fan. Maybe he'll try some of your Fabo Pop on November 13th. I know you had some issues with Reno Chastain as the salesman in the past.
I got the table all set.
You got
I got two people taking care of it.
You got a warrior.
I got two of them.
We're not going to run into that problem we had before with the Fabo Pop. A lot of people got to enjoy the Fabo Pop.
Yeah, they did. They got to enjoy it free. That was good. Yeah, it's all right, though.
Poor Reno just said, go down there. I don't think he knew where there was. But anyway, that's a different story for a different time. We mentioned the draft, which I thought was horrible, Johnny. Very ineffective, very boring, nothing of much consequence. And we move on to, okay, what's up next? Well, we have this big draft where no one is really attached to either brand or everybody is new to either brand. So now let's try and sell one of our big four pay-per-views around these brand-to-brand supremacy. Survivor Series is doing pretty bad right now. It's not like the VIP packages from back to the 90s. It's the Barclays Center in Brooklyn is a hurting unit right now. In WWE's own backyard, in their home, Survivor Series, it's doing some pretty lackluster ticket sales right now. Why do you think that is, Johnny? Do you think that the Survivor Series gimmick of Raw versus SmackDown has run its course?
Take a look at some of the matches.
People don't care about the champion versus champions because they might have just been with each other on the same brand a week ago.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're taking the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry.
No, that's
Can't
good.
have 'em back.
It's good. You can. It's good to think that we think alike in many cases. I just think they've done a disservice to the fans, and again, God bless those men and women who work for the WWE, and the NXT. They bust their ass every day. I was backstage. I was part of that for a while. I saw what it really took to put a show together. God bless those kids and those grown men back there. The producers, Vince McMahon, Triple H, Michael Hayes. Wow, unbelievable. I think they're doing a disservice to everyone. Survivor Series may not survive.
Well, you know, it used to be one of those pay-per-views back in the quote-unquote good old days when it was one of the big four every year.
I was there
and
for
it. was a Thanksgiving night tradition.
Yep.
At one point, then a Thanksgiving Eve tradition until it went to the Sunday format in 1995. Just disappointing. You know, you'd like to think in New York that it would be almost an automatic sellout. Do you think it would have sold out if it was at MSG? Do you think it would have made a difference to the two venues or no?
Yeah, I do. Madison Square Garden is the place to go, even though I've never been there.
We got to get you know what? As bad as things are right now, I think you'd still appreciate that venue.
I might go someday. I'd like to be there. I'd like to see it. My son's wrestled there. I've never even seen my son wrestle there.
Why
So,
haven't you ever gone down?
I've never been asked.
Well, every show you go to, you're personally invited?
No.
Oh,
No, I'm not.
but you wanted a personal invite to MSG.
That would be an outstanding thing. But no. And you know, they're very generous and very kind to me. I can't thank them enough, or my son.
I'm sure you'd be a welcome guest.
Yeah, my son has treated me very well. So when it comes to that, but I was back there. I've seen it all, but I've never been to Madison Square Garden. I think it's like the old Boston Garden. That just was a great spot. People loved it. The train would come in. People would rush up. The superstars would be coming by. It was just the place. And I think Madison Square Garden holds that nostalgia where a lot went down in professional wrestling. Bruno Sammartino, Pedro Morales. You know, you look at Bob Backlund with his manager Arnold Skolin. You talk about Aldo Montoya. I think some of the fans need to know, the newer fans need to know that that's just incredible. And he is just incredible when you see this guy in the ring. I've worked with him.
Former ECW world champion.
Let me tell you, I've worked with him. And I'm going to tell you something. That super kick is a super kick. I got it.
Well, you want to know what I think is nice about MSG? I can't speak for the TV tapings, but at least for the non-televised house shows.
Yep.
Do you know who is always an invited guest that they sit in the front row?
You?
No.
Who's that?
One of your former Flames. Betty Skolin.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's very nice that they do that
She's
for her.
a sweet person.
Yeah.
She really is a great human being.
Isn't that nice, though, that they still do that they go out of their way to go, and I'm sure they send a car service to pick her up. Yeah.
She's just, I remember at WrestleMania when the Undertaker...
Wait a minute. Howard's going wild. Well, it's better than him dying, I guess. All right, wrestling fans, we'll take a brief
It's
time
still
out.
on.
We'll be back after this time out. Johnny, please, you got a pulse.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts.
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marati.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It was all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now available on eBay.
On October 28th, 2020, Wrestling's Scariest Night was back with WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. This limited edition collector's autograph poster is number 12 of only 100 produced and is signed by all 9 superstars featured on the poster, including Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, and your Halloween Havoc host, Shotzi Blackheart. Comes with WWE authentication hologram on the back. You'll also receive an on-air thank you from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a bonus mystery autograph photo. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible now.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. Hopefully, Johnny, you're all mic'd up now and ready to go.
Wow, I didn't realize that cut out, but you know, Moniz is always saying, shut up.
Well, has Moniz ever been to Madison Square Garden?
Yes, she has.
What has she been there for? A concert or?
No, concert, and believe it or not, her son Tom Nash is a big wrestling fan. So her former spouse, Tom Nash Sr., used to bring Tom Nash Jr., and Moniz would go sometimes to the wrestling shows.
So Moniz has been to see wrestling at the Garden, but not JFab.
Well, she's seen a little bit of live wrestling. She was impressed when I took her down to do the Make-A-Wish show I did in Connecticut. She'd never been that close to the stars or that close to the action. So I would say, really, that was probably her first time being really exposed to it. But she's seen it, but never took an interest.
Well, wait until Saturday night, November the 13th, when she sees her ball getting all hot and heavy in the squared circle.
Well,
you never know with you. You're always ready to...
We haven't finished collaborating yet.
There's still no, you're right. You're right. There's a lot of collaboration to go. There's a lot of collaborating to do. But that's a different story for a different time. Again, fans, BostonWrestling.com. Those VIP packages are going. We've probably sold a couple in this show. Knock on wood,
We
baby.
should have. I hope
want
so.
them gone. I want them sold out.
How many we got left to go?
I don't know the exact number, but they're doing very well. They're doing very well. And again, you know what? We have people that love you. If you give us some love, we'll give you some love back. Like I said,
Tell you what, you got
there's
at least
no law that says
you got at least 25.
Oh, many more than that.
Well, I'll tell you what. First 25 that are sold with this program get a free autographed bottle of Fabo Pop.
Wow, Jesus, Johnny. What's your name? Santa Claus? Oh no, that's in December.
I love the fans. I'll tell you what. First 25 get a VIP package. You get your choice. Free autographed bottle of Fabo Pop.
There is no law that says we have to cut off the VIP guests at 8. We could go 9, we could go 10. You guys give us some love, we'll give you some love back. We're those kind of people.
It's the way to go.
Hey,
Way to go.
you know what? We can only do a 20th
You know what we'll do?
anniversary once.
It's either going to be a signed bottle of Fabo Pop, John Cena Sr., or a signed autographed bottle of my hot sauce.
And you know what? The last person that gets one is going to win.
Who?
The last
What are
person
they
that
gonna
buys
win?
a ticket, they're going to be put into a raffle for Win a Date with Piggott. So don't delay. Don't be the last one to get the ticket. You don't want to win that prize, baby, let me tell you. You know what someone, they actually chimed in and said, though, Johnny? They said, I know your children grew up in the 80s. Do you remember the program, The Facts of Life?
Yes, I do.
They said she kind of looks a little bit like Edna Garrett.
What are we talking about now? Saudi Arabia? The draft?
Let's get back to business.
No
and
wonder
that
you
is
get
the,
letters.
The lack of business at Survivors.
Beyond my abilities at the moment.
Well, Siri.
What was
Even
that?
Siri. For whatever reason, my Siri is a black guy.
That's great.
Siri. I use Siri. I have an iPhone 12. I don't know how to use it, but the phone must have been hearing us talk about maybe Piggott's in my phone. This is out of control, Johnny.
It
You
is
talk about
Halloween.
you having shadow people
It is
guiding
Halloween.
you all over wherever you go. I've got the iPhone tapping into our conversation. And it used to be on my old phone, an English-sounding female woman, and now it's an African-American gentleman.
God
I
bless
didn't
him.
know they were different voices. But anyway.
Well,
Why doesn't anyone want to go to Survivor Series? And do you think the tickets will wind up selling?
I think they'll sell it at a discount. I think
really?
I think they'll paint the house.
One of those deals?
Yeah.
Think it'll be Comp City?
Yeah, because, well, just take a look at the sales to date. Look at what's happening. I mean, you know.
Are you going down?
No.
No.
I think that what's happening right here is the fans are sending a message. I certainly hope that you get the message, because it might not be only Survivor Series that this ends up happening to. I can remember with my boys, after Thanksgiving meal, we were ready. I had the DVD, the VCR set up. I've got tapes of those shows. We look forward to that. Now, as you say,
What are you going to miss? If you don't see it, what are you going to miss?
Nothing.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That used to be one of their, what you call a tent pole event of the year. That was something to really look forward to something that would be built up. You might even see a tease for something that might start being built towards WrestleMania. It was a really great event.
It's over.
But now it's just more of the same. Raw versus SmackDown, even though everybody's on both shows, it seems like, at different points of the year, even though it seems like they flip-flop almost every year, going back and forth with this pointless draft. I mean, why have a draft where everybody changes brands 6 weeks before the brand versus brand pay-per-view? It makes no sense.
Because they're trying to see. You got to understand the mentality. We're trying to line up new rivalries.
But if they were just together on the same show, what difference does it make?
Well, okay, now I got to side with you. It doesn't make any sense. But that's the key. That's the reason.
You know, like I've said before, I want to like it, Johnny. I don't want to be so negative towards it, but there's just no enjoyment anymore towards it. And instead of being that guy that's going to sit there every week, and for a while, you got to remember, we were doing those, talk about a workload, we were doing a review of Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and SmackDown each week, individual podcast shows. And it just got to the point where if all we're going to do is sit there and complain about how bad it is, what is the point in being so negative about it? Just stop watching it.
Just stop watching. And
That's all you can do. I enjoy it live, but I can't sit there week in and week out and watch them from start to finish. I'll lose my mind.
I say that to a lot of people. If you're not satisfied with the product, don't mouth off. Don't put stuff on the board. Just stop watching. That will get their attention. It's like the economy. Oh, beef's too high, chicken's too high, cereal's too high, gas is too high. Stop buying the product. Don't drive as much. If every person in the United States stayed home one day, the country is in deep shit in plain English because it's the working person that keeps us going.
Right.
And gasoline will come down. And the price of beef and chicken and cereal will come down. The trouble is we're afraid to be without. Now they're buying diapers. There's going to be a shortage. I can't
There's
wait.
There's going to be a shortage of diapers?
Oh, yeah. They're
Why
buying,
is that?
Manufacturing pulp or whatever it is. And now I can't wait. I'm sitting back going, man, it's going to be a great Christmas. You won't be able to get a Christmas tree now. There's going to be a shortage.
They don't even have trees now.
Shortage of Christmas trees.
Why is there real or fake ones?
Real. And now what they're expecting. Because I guess out west, the drought killed a lot of the trees.
Okay.
So there's going to be a shortage there. And now they're saying there's going to be a shortage on artificial trees because people are not going to get the real ones. Buy your tree now. You know what? What's that show, Stop the Insanity? This is exactly where we're at. And the professional wrestling world needs to stop the insanity. Look at the reality. But again, it sounds to me like somebody's only interested in this.
Well, there's going to be a lot less of that. It's going to sound like quarters instead of dollars at the Barclays Center on November 21st.
You know what? Come to think about it, one of the suspects I'm throwing in for this Cam Zagami brain, I'm throwing in Senior Jr., John Cena Jr.
You think your son may be involved?
You know what?
Well,
he was with that clown on the reality show, wasn't he?
I'll tell you this, and this came from the horse's ass himself, Cam. I remember him telling me, this is way back around when the show was on TV. He said, as it was wrapping up, he said, well, say hello to your father for me. And John said to him, you'll probably see him before me. Well?
That's true. You know what? Suspect included.
Do you think that maybe John could resent the fact that, where he's so tied up in his movies, he can't be involved in the king of sports as much as he'd like to due to time commitments? And maybe he's resentful of you.
Very true. Maybe he's using the puppet. I'll have to do more research on that. Anyway,
back to the topic at hand,
just
which is
throw that out.
Survivor Series. I think John, if he wasn't making a TV show or movies or whatever claim to fame he is in November, he would certainly help sell some tickets to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Maybe if they announce that Brock is going to be there, maybe that'll help. I don't know if Brock is on it or not, but it's just I think it speaks volumes to the lack of interest in the product overall that they can't sell out Survivor Series. Not just sell out Survivor Series, but sell out Survivor Series in New York City. That's sad to me.
That'd be like trying to sell out Survivor Series in Philadelphia and not be able to do it. Philadelphia is a great wrestling town. If you can't do it in New York, you're hurting.
I just think the concept is dry and it's stale.
Well, you know what? You and I can sit here and debate this all day.
But we agree,
The fans
so
can
it's hard, yeah.
Right, and the fans can complain about it all day.
Well, you know what, folks? What do you think? We have the premier chat box going right now to my right. Type in what you think about Survivor Series. Do you have any interest in it? Let us know what you thought about the WWE draft. If you're not watching during the live premiere, the cool thing is, in the comment section below, you can share your thoughts as well. And Johnny and I can read them after the fact, so we can see what you
glad
guys
to.
think
Yep.
about us jibber-jabbering each and every week. As the program is winding down, we have a nice clock, thanks to Howard Miller now, so I have a better idea of where we are in my crazy mind. There was so much to go through, Johnny. I'm going to try and have to skip ahead a little bit. This Thursday afternoon, I know you're going to be tied to the Fabo Supertron TV set that you have, 92 inches, I'm told, for the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, coming from, I don't know where in Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure if it's the Kingdom of Jeddah or somewhere else, but are you looking forward to Crown Jewel? Some big matches signed. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns will clash for the Universal Championship.
Who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to go with Roman.
I think I'm going to have to go with that.
You also have a big-time grudge match after what happened at SummerSlam. Bobby Lashley takes on Billy Goldberg, a revenge match, and one of what could be one of Goldberg's final matches with the company.
I said it before, I'll say it again. I wouldn't want to be in a bar fight against Goldberg. But you know what?
You don't want to watch him on TV anymore either.
No, they've used it. I'm tired. You know why? They've jobbed him so many times. They've taken away a lot of his credibility. They have not used the man in the right way. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put him in there one more time. You strip the man of the title that should have held on to that title, and now you're going to put Goldberg back in the same position he was in before. Billy Goldberg, and I'm not being derogatory, I do not disrespect him. If he can go 5 minutes, it'll be good.
Do you think Lashley lays down for Goldberg?
I do not.
You think Lashley goes over?
Yes, I do.
Well, you know what? I'd like to think that that's going to be the case, but I mean, did Goldberg agree to come back to lose constantly?
You know what? It's like Brock Lesnar. I really don't care as long as the check clears.
All right, well, I'm kind of up in the air on that one. I can't see you have Lashley lose again, so I think they find a way to have Lashley win. Maybe Billy Goldberg returns at Survivor Series and they're on opposing teams.
Maybe Big E comes in and makes a save.
Well, speaking of Big E, he'll be putting the WWE Championship on the line against Drew McIntyre in a match that I think about zero fans have interest in. I think the McIntyre experiment, I hate to say it, I wanted to give it a shot, but I think it's failed. I don't think he is
miserably.
He's not the answer, and I don't think Big E is the answer. And yet we have this championship match. Is it in the Kingdom?
Who else do you know what? Every one of these guys, how many more guys, like I keep saying, how many more can Roman Reigns work? Who's going to work Big E? Who hasn't he worked? You've taken a guy like McIntyre, who has the look, who has the ability, and you squash the guy. And now you put him against Big E. Who do you think's going to win?
Who do you got?
You don't got nobody.
You want to know why it's almost a dead giveaway?
I may have to put the tights on.
McIntyre's going to SmackDown the next day.
No kidding.
So who do you think goes over in the Kingdom?
Oh, think it's going to be Big E? And I said this to everybody.
Yeah.
When you and I can sit here and predict the outcome of these matches, and there's nothing wrong with that, but why? What's the point? In the day and age when I was involved, you couldn't do that. Vince would throw so many swerves at you, you didn't know which end was up. You never knew. I remember the referee grabbing the ear, and the guy that was supposed to go over didn't go over. Wow, what a swerve. Look at Bob Backlund when Arnold Skolin threw the towel in. Man, there's so many things that...
Well, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I was just...
No, go ahead.
I'm gearing up. I'm so excited about Crown Jewel. Of course, they have to have a women's match now to show how much progress WWE has created in Saudi Arabia. When the ladies will be out there and would almost look like pajamas competing
Sasha Banks against...
Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch for the I think it's the Smack. I don't know if it's the SmackDown or the Raw Women's Championship due to the draft, but they'll be competing for some championship that no one really cares about.
So guess what?
Who do you think leads with the gold?
Well, I'll be telling you right now, it has to be Becky Lynch.
I think it's an easy way to get the belt off of Becky without. Oh wait, this is the timer. Oh wow, it even beeps.
Wow, did you know that?
Wait a minute.
For a while, I thought it was,
we need to hit the mute button, Howard.
I thought it was.
Done yet.
I thought it was
Thank
Biden. I thought Biden was calling.
Sleepy, are you all right?
Yeah.
Get Dr. Jill.
We have a mandate about, you've got to get vaccinated, but Congress is exempt, the aides are exempt. You know what, Joe? Everybody's got to be included.
All right. Well, speaking of everybody being included, you think Becky is going to retain the championship?
No.
Or do you think it'll be an easy way to get the belt off her in a triple threat where Sasha could pin Bianca, Bianca could pin Sasha in their pajamas?
Becky Lynch is going to come out on top.
Yeah. And do you think she'll have like Irish colored pajamas on?
You got to remember, and I give these women credit, I really do, for having the guts to go into a country that doesn't accept women as who they are, intelligent, strong, able to do the job. So I give them credit, number one. What they have to wear is based on what they're required to do to complete the job. So I'm looking at it from the standpoint that we'll see what happens. I think Lynch has got to come out on top.
What about a match I'm actually looking forward to seeing? How about this? A match I'm actually looking forward to seeing. In the Hell in the Cell, Edge against Seth Rollins. I guess you're not.
No, you know what? They've done it.
Not in the cell.
I don't care whether
Not in the cell.
I don't care if it's in Biden's basement or your back room in the studio. They've done the clash. They've done it. So what are you going to do to rev it up? Add a little more blood? Somebody's going to get really injured?
I'd love to see some blood.
And somebody's going to get really injured and taken on a stretcher? Is somebody going to have to take time off? You know what? The new original is what we need. We're not getting that. We're getting repeat. It's like reruns in the fall or the summer of TV shows. Be original here. Look, I'm going to tell you, I was involved with Edge. Greatest talent, really, at that time for what we needed. Rollins is another great talent.
The two of them, that's all.
That's right. The two of them will pull it off. But you know what? God bless you, because I really don't care.
Really? No, I got to say, that's the match I'm looking forward to.
Good.
I know the other match maybe that is on your DVR list will be Mansoor taking on Mustafa Ali one-on-one. Another tag team that lasted for about a month and a half, and now they've broken up, and they'll be going at it one-on-one at Crown Jewel. Do you have a prediction?
I'm not even interested.
But do you have a prediction?
No.
I say you have to go with Mansoor, but that is just I. And rounding out the card,
He's the bigger of the two, the stronger. He's the one that want to put over.
Yeah, and I believe a native of that
Yeah, he
part
is,
of the world.
Saudi Arabia, yeah.
And tag team titles will be on the line when RK Bros, one of the worst names I've ever heard. I think Randy Orton's extreme talents are taken down a notch by Matt Riddle's stupidity, one man's opinion. They'll be defending the titles against AJ Styles and Omos, who's almost like a lifeless Shaquille O'Neal. Not a lot of personality there, Johnny. He didn't go to the John Cena Senior School of Verbal Ability.
Wow.
There's not a lot going on with Omos.
Well, you know who's going to lose, don't you?
Who do you think is going to do the job in that?
Styles and his partner.
Who is going to take the pen? Shaq?
Who?
Shaq?
Shaq O'Neal?
Yeah. Almost? Or do you think they'd protect him? And
No.
AJ does the job again.
Well, you know what? Well, I've noticed one thing. Styles has been jobbing out quite a bit. Maybe he's coming to the end. I don't know. But for a red-hot guy, they certainly have brought him down a couple of rungs. It may be they want to protect our friend almost, and Styles takes the fall. But
I really don't. I hate to say it, but
I'm not interested.
I don't care.
No, not interested.
Isn't that awful?
So guess what? The Fabitron's not going on that day.
Well, You know what I do like, though? I don't know if they're going to have it at this particular stadium, but for the, I don't know if they're called Sheiks or whatever they may be over there, but, you know, they almost have like those leather recliners like they used to have at the Revere movie theater.
Oh, the Sheiks.
Yeah.
The Sheiks. Yeah,
Sheiks?
I'm sorry.
Is that what they're called?
It's called Sheiks, yeah.
The people?
Well, no.
Or the chairs?
No, the chairs I don't know.
Oh, the people are called Sheiks,
Yeah.
not Sheiks.
No, Sheiks.
What is a sheik?
I didn't shake.
Sheik or
Sheik.
sheik?
I didn't shake. You can say both.
Oh, some people say sheik? Oh, I didn't know that. See, you always learn something.
I'm sorry the Revere place went out of business.
Yeah, me too. That was my movie theater, John.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And I haven't been going as much since because there's not one as close to me.
Well, you know, I just sat back and thought of an idea about those empty theaters. In Rochester, New York, what they're doing is they're taking those theaters, and of course in Rochester, there are a lot of local theater groups. They use those, and the local groups rent those and present very professional theater there. As a matter of fact, there's one where it was like a 4 cinema. It's 4 different theaters. They brought in Avenue Q from Broadway. They brought in some real good shows. Why don't they do that instead of tearing them down and closing them? I don't have the
I
money.
think for the one in Revere, it was just a case of, you know, Amazon offered the right price.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
But, I mean, some of the other theaters I'm seeing around here, I wish I had more money in my pocket because I pick one up and use it for live professional theater.
Now you're talking.
It's on the way back.
All right, wrestling fans, we're running out of time. The good news is, after SmackDown and AEW next week, we'll be back to talk more about the King of Sports Professional Wrestling. For John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marati. Don't forget, we're getting yet closer and closer and closer. We are just a month and a day away from the big one, Saturday night, November the 13th, Memorial Hall in Melrose. Boston Wrestling MWF celebrates 20 years as we go back to the 90s. VIP packages and tickets on sale now. BostonWrestling.com. For John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marati. Until we speak again, folks, good night from Boston.
Tickets are on sale now for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s and 90s WrestleFest Birthday Bash, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.